Good afternoon. It's a cold Saturday afternoon. I do want to apologize to everyone. I have been fighting with my system to get last week's show downloaded. And I think I finally got it done today. So you'll have two shows we'll probably hit today. Let's talk about, folks, we need to talk about, I hear a lot of people saying they're going to be a gray man when they're wandering through the area. Folks, a lot of you I don't think understand the term gray man. And a lot of you, to be honest with you, the term gray man refers to somebody that you see but don't pay a whole lot of attention. They don't look, there's no threatening movement from them. What's bringing this up today is I was having coffee today with a young man, and his dad and I was talking about what would happen if there was a collapse. Now, this friend of mine's wife is tied to a oxygen concentrator. So she's got to be somewhere where there's electricity. And he and I was discussing on how to make sure that happens. And his son looked at me. His son's about 23 years old. And he said, "I'll just be a gray man." And I looked at him and I said, "What's that?" Like I didn't know. And he said, "Well, I'll just move through town and nobody will pay attention to me." And I started laughing. The kid is 6'3", has a head full of fire for hair. It's so red. He looks like a starting lineman for one of the professional football teams. And he thinks people are not going to pay attention to him. And I started laughing, and I told him he had no better chance of being a gray man than a bull in a china factory has not breaking something. Even this kid's demeanor doesn't allow him to be a gray man. Now let's explain what a gray man is. The term gray man came around after the original movie Men in Black, where Zed is telling Kay, "Put on the last suit you'll ever wear, and you'll just be a memory, deja vu." Folks, that's what you need to be if you're going to be. That means you have to look like you're in as bad a financial need as everybody around you. You may have to walk around with your eyes towards the ground instead of being able to look people square in the eye. You definitely cannot be carrying, one of these high dollar backpacks that you're using for a get home bag that's nice and clean, and people can tell you've never had it out of the car other than moving it from the car to the house when you go out. This makes me go back to 1992. Rodney King. The riots of South Central LA. Now, why am I talking about something that happened so long ago? I was there. I saw what was going on as a young man. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now. What I saw was the gangs, the rioters, the people on the street. There were people just trying to get to work, and they were getting the dog craps kicked out of them. I remember that day real well. I remember the nights and the days that went with it. Rapes went up. Assaults. I can't even say they were exponentially larger. They just all of a sudden exploded. They were yanking people out of their cars, beating the ever living out of them. Just because. Some of the people were doing it because the drivers were either white, Asian, or well-to-do for Hispanics. A few of them got yanked out of their cars because the rioters, some of the black rioters, thought that they were Uncle Toms. They were falling in with a white man. We saw a lot of that. The lessons that came from that were not wasted on the men who saw it. The Marines, the Army, and the Air Force guys that were on the streets with the local police, the lessons were not lost on those guys, on any of us. So I'm going to tell you something right now, folks. If you think you're going to be a gray man, you better find the nastiest, dirtiest clothes you can. You better be looking for the nastiest old backpack you can carry. And I hate to say it this way, but don't make eye contact. Try to avoid confrontation with any of them. Now, I know, saying that, some of you are going to sit back and say, well, that's not possible. The catch is, you got to do it. for the sake of your family, for the sake of your own life. You may be forced to throw stuff out on the front yard to look like the house has already been looted. Learn what color paint National Guard's going to use and how they're going to paint the houses to tell the house is empty. Make sure that you understand that you have to do your cooking at night. Or in the wee hours. You know, I never thought that I would see a day in this country where I thought that collapse could happen. But it's sure a strong possibility anymore. Especially if we let Democrats back in, if we let Democrats back in charge of things again, they will destroy the United States. They've already proven after the '08 collapse that they don't care about what happens to the United States. Some of them think that because they're senators and congressmen, they're going to be insulated. I got news for them. When the ruling junta decides to start taking over, those who once were in charge are the ones first killed. Look at what Pol Pot, what Castro, Chavez, you just go down the list. There'll be another night of long knives. And people will perish. So you want to make sure that you look like you're in as bad a shape as everybody else. Folks, you have a good day. Try to stay warm. I was looking at my phone just a minute ago, and it says right here where I'm at in the Texas Panhandle, it's 31 degrees. 2 days ago at this time, it was almost 70. Welcome to the Texas Panhandle. All right. This is Ancient Warrior, and I am talking to you from Free America. Good day.